Good morning. Today is Saturday, July 30th, and tomato season is finally kicking into full gear. Today feels wonderful. It's going to be a great day. No humidity, just a beautiful sunny 80-degree day. The garden is doing a whole lot, good and bad. These cosmos, love them, but I didn't know they were going to be so tall. They just kind of took over my wall. I'm not going to grow them next year, but they probably will self-seed somewhere, and I'll pluck them up and put them along the back border because they're too tall for where they are right now. And I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of calendulas because I have seeds everywhere. The birds and all the other rodents and bugs are enjoying that. And most of the flowers here are done blooming, except for this red echinacea, which every year, except for last year, looks so beaten down because of the birds. The petals are always so tethered and not, whole and pretty like they should be. Some bug or insect is getting to it. But either they have not discovered it yet. Oh, this is coming out today, this hollyhock. It was gorgeous, but now it just looks crazy. My cucumbers are looking rough. There's was 2 plants here and only 1 survived over there. There was 2, and there were sweet peas on the side. And there's proof in the pudding because honestly, until this year, I never paid attention to it. Every year now when I plant, I'm going to put a bean plant, even if it's a bush bean, right next to, in each bed. This was green and lush for the longest time until the sweet peas came out. And these were kind of on the yellow side, and the flavor was different. The flavor was more watery, not concentrated. And over here, the flavor was strong. It was nitrogen dense, like the cucumbers were actually greener. I don't know if you can see that over here. I don't even know if it's even an issue anymore because the bean is gone out of there. But I have since placed a bean in here, and the new leaves are coming out looking so nice. So from now on, I'm planting beans with everything. I accidentally did that this year. Disregard the fact that my squash is on its last leg because vine borers got to it. But it's funny because there's another squash right there, and it's loving its life. There is asparagus yard-long beans. There are yard-long beans in that one. Look how green and pretty that is. And I hardly water that. Over here, it was green and lush. There was a pigeon pea plant in there. Still is. But the vine borers got it. Oh, I will forever plant a small bush bean in each bed. And here's the other coneflower. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is the first year blooming. Last year it started, but then frost came. I started this from seed last spring, and it is looking beautiful. They're just all over the place. They're just laying down. This is my third Kellogg breakfast tomato beefsteak. The beefsteaks are coming in. The San Marzanos are coming in. The cherries have been coming in for probably about 2 weeks. My volunteer ground cherry and my squash, zucchini, if it ever does anything. I have 3 plants and they all look anemic. I did plant them late, but the first year I planted them, they were in those wine barrels over there, and they were glorious, but they tasted bitter, and I'm not sure why. So I'm trying again. Rudbeckia started from seed. Actually, no. I bought those from a farmer's market last year, and they did nothing. Not because of the plant, but because of the bunnies. The bunnies are doing way too much this year. Like, I lost so many things. There was a ground cherry right there, either mouse or ground cherries. They ate that. The plant. My 3rd cabbage. Look at that. I have a cabbage. This one's actually trying to do something. Another zucchini. And look at that. if you see the holes, I had cucumbers all through here, sweet peas all through here, and lettuce all through there. They ate everything, even with the mesh on there. They got under there and they ate it. So I've started my seeds in flats on the side of the house because, yes, I will share my garden with the pests and the animals, but good Lord, leave me something. I dug these up from over here and thought I put them there, but apparently I left a piece because they're over here and there's some over there underneath there that didn't bloom this year. So it's going to be quite lovely here. This is a Diamond Rouge, hydrangea. This is his first year. We shall see. I overwintered it in a pot and they all struggled. I had 5 and I would say only probably 2 survived. This one and the one in the front of the house. My overwintering process was not great, apparently. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Oh, look like I'm gonna have to come spray. The new leaves are looking really tattered. Yep, they're back. The caterpillars are back. There it is, right there. Can't focus. Yep, right there. They're back. Time to spray. Oh, just so beautiful. And this accidentally planted zinnia is taller than I am, not because it's in a raised bed, but because it's sucking up all the nutrients from my corn. And it's gorgeous though, I'll give it that. My melons, I have one down there. I think these are Minnesota midgets. This one, I don't know if it's going to do anything because it's abnormally shaped. And here's another. This is a Kajari melon. Another. So I got 4 Kajari melons. I'm not sure why they're so small. Probably because I have them so crowded. I love the way I planted this year because they're planted so densely that the weeds are minimal, and with them being in this raised bed, the stuff that I put in there this year, I haven't had to water this as much either. These are San Marzanos, and my first beefsteak of the year were going to be these Black Beauty tomatoes. However, the birds had a different idea. So I had to cut off and dispose of 2 of my Black Beauty tomatoes, and I have to take them off when they're blushing like this. So when I'm done with this video, this is coming off, and so is this one. As soon as they start to blush, the birds, they attack them. My okra is doing good. My mistake this year was planting them so densely. Well, no, not even that, because they're bush. They get no bigger than this, which is about knee high, hardly. But the corn, I thought the corn would be done by now, and it's not. And they're like shading out the okra, which obviously loves heat. So they're producing, but they're not producing as well as I thought they would. And in this bed, you see how everything is green and lush and hardly has any water, like for the season. It's barely been watered. And I have butter beans in here, and that seems to be doing it. I have about maybe 10 plants in here. Nitrogen fixing. This here is looking good, but it's not as green and pretty as any of my other beds because there's absolutely no beans in here. I have learned, and I will take the lesson from this year. Plant a bean, even if it's not for the purpose of eating. Plant a bean in each bed. It does so much for the bed. My parsley is looking crazy, like flea beetle damage. I don't know what is with me in thyme. I cannot keep thyme alive to save my life. I do this every year, and you would think that I would figure out You know, like, why can't I grow thyme? I grow so many other things. Great, but thyme, no. Oh, look at this. This corn was ready, and I was gonna go come pick it. Look at this. This is the foolishness I'm talking about. I have to pick things before they're ready because look at, I just checked it 2 days ago to, to see if it was ready to pluck off, and once again they beat me to it. One day I came home and this was kind of eaten off, and I put this here and I thought that would help, but it helped a little bit. But the one corn that is ready, they have demolished, and I don't know if it's a deer or if it's the bunnies, because the bunnies they've been taking care of a lot of my stuff, like killing stuff. But the bunnies couldn't do that. I don't think they could. I think it's a deer. But if it's a deer, why only that? They didn't attack anything else. It's puzzling to me. I'm so over it. Every year I grow corn, I have the same result. It gets eaten down to nothing. I've only had success one time where I was able to pick my corn, eat it, and, enjoy it. Finally grew corn, and it looked good. Like it was going to be a normal ear. Hopefully I get one or some of the many others that are standing here, but this is the result. Before they get to a point where I can eat them, they get them. And I thought this was a cherry tomato right here, and obviously it's not. Because it's here with the rest of the cherry tomatoes. This Kellogg breakfast, I mixed up my tags. But guess what? I'm not used to watching out for the tomatoes getting stuck in the fence. Look at this. I have a beefsteak stuck in the fence. So when I reap this, I'm going to have to literally slice it out. Literally. And another conundrum in the garden this year. Either I saved seeds or I bought seeds from somewhere and the seeds are cross-pollinated. These are supposed to be sun gold. And the coloring is off and they don't taste the same as sun gold as I know sun gold to taste. They're okay, but they're not sun gold. So I'm a little disappointed, but they're fine, but they have the same flavor. So I'm gonna have to either see what seeds I used and not use those again, or buy some more sun gold seeds, which I actually think I did buy from a different source before this even happened, because it's one of my favorite tomatoes. So next year we hope to have the actual sun gold. This is some kind of a hybrid mix. It's very peachy in coloring. It has an okay flavor, but it's not sun gold flavor at all. And the plant gets sick real easy. Like, it's the first plant to start with the browning leaves. I've been cutting off brown leaves for weeks now, since before they even started to put on fruit. Whereas the rest of my cherry tomatoes, per usual, are doing great. So we have yellow pear, supposed to be sun gold, Kellogg breakfast, which should have been chocolate cherry, which it's not, and my favorite tomato, which is where the bird started, is the Shimmer hybrid. And over here, this was supposed to be something else, and it is indeed a chocolate cherry tomato. I've been picking these, very nice. These are Gladiator tomatoes. I got quite a bit of those in the house. This is coming off today. This looked like it's going to be a Kellogg breakfast. This is the only yellow beefsteak I grew this year, so I wouldn't mess up. This, I think, is supposed to be the white tomato. It might be a Kellogg breakfast. I had quite a few mix-ups with my plants this year. This is a very anemic-looking tomato plant that I put in, and it's finally taken off. It's rooted in. This was way back in May, and you can see where it is compared to all the others. And it has fruit on it now, so that's good. Callaloo is doing good. This is a 4th of July tomato. So I guess it's supposed to be ready by 4th of July. It definitely wasn't. This I thought was supposed to be 4th of July, but it looks like a Gladiator. This is one plant I bought at the nursery. It's called Lemon Boy. No, Golden Boy. So this is my first time growing it. I will be saving seeds. Maybe not, because it won't be true to type, because it'll probably get cross-pollinated like my sun gold did. I don't know. We shall see. But a tomato's a tomato, right? I love the yellow pear. Look at how far it's reached. It's over here on the side of the bed. Oh my. Peaches are doing okay. We shall see if I get anything. Maybe the birds will get to it this year before anything else. Before I can reap anything. And this PG hydrangea is supposed to be a standard tree. I bought this last year. It did nothing. And this year it's putting on some blooms. The location is fine, but for some reason it struggles. This has been here for about 7 years and hasn't bloomed since the first year it's been in. Pear tree didn't do anything this year. Plum tree didn't do anything this year. They both have to get cut back because they're getting too big for me. This is the cherry tree, which I put in this year. Oh. Rose bushes need to get cut back. This is the plum tree, which I put in this year. And we have a lot of beetle damage. This hydrangea bloomed last year for the first time in the 7 years or 6 years. And I was going to pull them out, but I was just like, you know what? Let me leave it alone and see what happens next year. Last year I fertilized it and it bloomed. None of the others did. So I'll try again. They bloom a beautiful pink color. They don't love the evening sun that they get, which is part of the problem, but I'm not moving it. This plant is new. I bought it on clearance. It's a pink peony. My coworker gave me this. This is a witch hazel tree or plant. She also gave me a rose, like a rosa something rose. It's right here. I don't know what color it's supposed to be, but that was very nice of her. It was my going away gift. This is a hollyhock I planted last year that should have bloomed this year, but it did not. Here's one of my dead Diamond Rouge hydrangeas. Didn't do anything. And here is I think it's I can't remember. Buddleia, I can't remember. But anywho, that one, I bought 3 of them. That's one, and the other 2 are in the front of the house. And here's my sad red curry squash. It's crazy that this looks so fresh and nice and the rest of the plants look like this. I don't know. I got 1 fruit off of it. This one probably would have done something if the plant didn't dry up. I want to pull it out, but I'll just wait till that one gets a little bit more of the detail on the side. Get a little bit more life out of that. Although it is yellow on the stem, so I don't know if it will do anything. Here's the gungu, which is not going to do anything. This is a pigeon pea. This is what that's a bean. It kept this green. This is my sunspot sunflower, looking massive. The other 2 are right there and right there. They were gorgeous. And okay, yeah, so this plant is officially done because it had another fruit right there and it's starting to shrivel up. Yeah, so I'm gonna take that off. And yeah, but what else? I don't know what I would put there if I take that off now, but it's ugly, so it needs to go. And crazy enough, which is okay with me, the vine borers didn't kill this yet. I have a few fruit on it. It's a honey nut. There's one. This one has been the same size for the longest time. This one was the same size for the longest time, so I finally just cut it off because it's taking energy from the plant. It's not doing anything. That one has been miniature as well. I don't know if I'll get anything. So we shall see. I let my basil flower because, yeah, believe this one is a cinnamon basil. Then I also planted sweet basil, and there's also cardinal basil, which blooms purple pom-pom flower. And this lemon balm is loving its life. Yes, it is. And I see a bumblebee that's loving its life too on the sunflower. Wow. This one's been open a little bit longer, and so they've pretty much gotten most of the pollen out of this one and have since left it alone. And my beautiful hydrangeas. The color on this is just so rich. Love it, love it, love it. My green stalk is doing pretty good. It was looking better last week, but looks like the bugs found it. Ooh. My leaves are starting to, it's time for me to pick it and let it start over again. This is my second time just like completely cleaning out the plant and freezing the leaves or using the leaves to cook some kind of meal, or just, freezing it for later on in the year when we have less greens. But they're looking like they need to get picked. Have a few cucumbers. This one is the little pickling cucumber. This is the orange hat tomato. Sometime I started from seed. I be trying. It just don't want to work with me. This is a shimmer, which is what I know shimmer to look like. Shimmer is usually more elongated, so I'm feeling like the shimmer that I have down there is another hybrid, because the very first year I grew the seed, the plants, they were a long fruit, but they were very tasty. And this is a tiny Tim, which is a very productive, very, very productive tomato. And I'm not sure what this is. It might be the white tomato, because I'm supposed to have one somewhere. I gave away the others. It might be a white tomato, I'm not sure. Because it's bigger than, I don't know. It's looking dry. I did water it this morning, and the thing about it, when the leaf canopy is so big, the rain just runs off instead of going to the root where you need it. So it rains and you think, oh, I'm good, I don't have to water. No, you do, because all the water just ran off to the floor. Zinnia also started from seed. And here are my seeds that I've started for the fall. I have to cover this back up because already the cabbage loopers are eating up my my kales and my collards and stuff. Fig tree looking beautiful. Have a few figs on there. I picked a bell pepper earlier this week. Pretty good. And this tree is gonna do wonderful things. This hot peppers. It has so many flowers and fruit on there. It's gonna do great things. Look how big they are. And under here we have a red one from a different variety. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. And there is some insect that's literally cutting, I forget what it's called, cutting the leaves and tearing them up. I forget what they're called. But this is, I think, a Lemon Queen sunflower, which I'm not sure if I bought it from the dollar store or from Baker's Creek, but it's looking like it's ready to put on a show soon. These are some more peppers that I bought from the farmer's market. Ooh, and that one is changing color. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I haven't looked in here in a minute. And there are 3 plants here. Hopefully, last year, peppers were awful. Nothing happened. Literally, they sat there like 3 inches high the entire season. This year, different story. Year before that, it was much like this, even better. It's just so on again, off again. Here we have our spring pots, which are still struggling along. I put them in the shade so they will, last a little bit longer. Like, why take them out and throw them, just put them somewhere where they might live a little bit longer. This is the only other plant from that Diamond Rouge family that survived, and see how bad it looks. This limb looks nice. These I started from seed this winter and hope to see flowers next year if the rabbits will let them be great. This morning I noticed that not only are the rabbits eating these, because I had them in 2 other sections and they're completely gone, I noticed that they have eaten my other delphiniums down to a nub. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. See, there were glads right here and they ate it down to nothing. That right there is a stem. And I don't know what it is about my soil, but it's not liking, the daisies are not liking them. I bought some daisies and they looked beautiful. There was one here, which I just kind of kicked it over to the side today because I'm annoyed. And this one is on its last leg. And it was beautiful and green last week, I don't know. And that one is, literally has a little bit of green and it's on its last leg, even more so than the others. And my delphinium. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, if that's normal.
Morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, it bloomed so beautifully. I was so excited for next year, but I don't know if it's gonna make it. And over there, right there are some sprigs sticking up. That's one of my delphiniums. The bunnies or whatever ate it last night. And I have another plant right there. It's another type of delphinium, only sprigs. I don't know. Like, these animals are going crazy in the garden this year. But I'm sad about my delphinium. I'm not sure. There were some bugs on it, and I don't know if those bugs killed it. I tried to, kind of take care of it, and I'm not sure if I did. Or I'm not sure if this is the natural process of the lupin, which I don't believe it is. I'm not sure. It could be, because the bleeding heart dies back to nothing at the end of the season. Last year I thought it wasn't coming back because it literally dried up, shriveled up, and turned brown, but the tuber is still on the ground, so it came back in the spring. So I'm hoping that's the same with the lupin. I'm not sure. Not sure at all. Oh, man. And my canna lilies that Desiree gave me, that somebody else gave her, are looking glorious. I'm loving the location of it, and I'm loving the color that it brings to the garden. Beautiful, peaceful day in the garden. Love it, love it, love it. These marigolds I started from seed, and they're the only 2 that survived, the 4 that I put here. And they're finally starting to bloom. And they've been here since it was warm enough for me to plant, which was the holiday weekend in May. and they're just now starting. My Pinky Winky, bringing in all the pollinators. All the pollinators, like, it's so busy around this plant right now. Look, I don't know if you can see this, but there's so many of them. Probably can't see it. And my purple rose is making an appearance. I cut it back once already. I just gave these a water this morning. They dried out. Like, it's rained and I think they're okay. And they're not, because it didn't really rain enough. Look at this wasp. There's so many pollinators. It's so busy. Bees, all bees. And wasps, but mostly bees. And I forget what you call the other little ones. These little ones. This is nuts. My hostas, I look forward to them getting bigger next year. And as you can see, my grass prevention measures did not work. Got to work on that. And my astilbes have bloomed and are done. My heucheras are still looking great. I just cut back the bloom stalks. And I do have 2 hostas under there. This big hydrangea is from the front. I moved it over here in the spring because this likes to have afternoon shade. They look real wilty, like they're about on their last leg when they get too much sun. So hopefully this spot is enough for them to bloom and still be good. They're a little yellow. They need a little iron, little chelated iron. So I gotta go buy that chelated iron. So I guess this side of the house is lacking iron, because I don't usually have this problem anywhere else in my garden. And we're back to my cabbage and my rudbeckia. All right, now I'm gonna go cut all those tomatoes off before the birds get them. Have a good day. Thanks for spending the morning with me.